So this is the road bridge with there's a little footpath on the side of the road. So you can actually see how narrow the road is, and you have to drive through there. And getting my truck down there was quite difficult, actually. Old power lines look like they've seen better days. But here you can actually see the structure of the bridge as well, with the framework and then the giant cross beams connecting the framework to the bed. And yeah, it's an interesting type of bridge construction that they don't seem to use too much anymore. But as they have more advanced methods. And there's the mill in the background. And there's the Lehigh Valley Railroad. Not sure if it's Lehigh or Lehigh Valley. I'm thinking it's Lehigh. And it in itself is actually a relatively old railroad. I'm not really completely certain when it was constructed, but I'd imagine late 1800s, early 1900s. And you can see the difference in construction between that and the trestle bridge. The trestle bridge they engineered in order to, they probably were using weaker steel and thinner beams, so they had to engineer it. While with the Lehigh Valley Railroad, they could just basically brute force it with a single bed and some pillars. Actually, the road bridge itself is quite interestingly designed too. I'm willing to bet the road bridge is probably about the same era, if not older than the older railway bridge. So it looks like it has the same construction with these cross ties holding it to upper support. Yeah, with these cross ties holding it to the upper support, and then with these columns, and then with the upper framework bearing the load of the weight. And since this is just a road bridge, it's obviously nowhere near as doesn't need to carry anywhere near as much of a load as either of the railway bridges. And there's one other thing that's of interest here. That's that old building down there, and I believe that used to be a station on the South Branch Railway. So the railway that went over this bridge here used to have a station here. So this would be the station. I'm gonna see if I can't get a little closer to that. That would be the Neshanic Station. Probably butchering the name of this town, but I believe it was Neshanic. I think it means something like Twin Forks River or Two Rivers or something like that. But I'll have to go back on Wikipedia and see where the name actually originated from. One thought I actually had here is, if you see the railing of this bridge leaning over like this and the wires, I wonder if that could be damage from the hurricane that hit a couple months ago. We basically in New Jersey had a hurricane, I believe it was, I forget what it was called, but we had a hurricane back in September that hit and flooded out many of the major rivers. So I imagine this river could have gotten swollen over this bridge, and this railing could have been collapsed because of that. interesting. You see the whitewater rapids where the rock dam used to be for the mill. This shot gives a good view of the bridge's structure. The bridge is a lenticular truss with upper and lower beams forming a fish shape that is interconnected by a truss consisting of vertical and cross beams. This actually gives you a better view of the Lehigh Valley Railroad. So the railroad that goes through and all the way into Pennsylvania. And I believe the railway bed just travels along on that raised embankment where the trees are.